What does mental independence mean for women today?
It's about trusting your own voice and not needing external approval.
What challenges do women face?
Overcoming self-doubt and societal pressures.
Welcome back. Today we're exploring women's mental independence.
Thanks for having me. It's about recognizing your needs and setting boundaries.
How does awareness is the first step? Then, practice makes it stronger.
I won't be held back!
Your spirit is strong, but control it!
I will break free!
Yes! You are becoming independent!
Welcome back. Today we're discussing women's mental independence.
It's about building that inner strength and not relying on others for your worth.
What are the first steps?
Trust yourself, set boundaries, and prioritize your growth.
Welcome back. Today we're discussing women's mental independence.
It's about building that inner strength and not relying on others for your worth.
What are the first steps?
Trust yourself, set boundaries, and prioritize your growth.
Welcome back to Virtual Affairs. Today, mental independence for women.
It's about self-definition and knowing your value.
So how does a woman achieve that independence?
Set boundaries and trust your instincts.
And the payoff?
True freedom. So, what do you think of this little guy?
It's impressive. Can it understand us?
Yes, watch this. Robot, introduce yourself.
Amazing.
It has a personality.
Wow.
What if I told you that women still have an internal censor that dictates their lives?
An internal censor. That's a bold statement. Go on.
It's the voice telling them to stay quiet.
And this censor is none other than society, with its stereotypes from the last century. Today we will break these chains.
Whoa, what is that?
It's a holographic interface.
It's incredible.
Affirmative, processing data.
We'll talk about mental independence, feminine stereotypes, and anxiety about money. So the algorithm suggests these pathways?
Exactly. The robot is modeling the data.
And this part here?
A feedback loop. Exactly. Women are afraid to satisfy their desires out of fear of judgment. It's not just strange, it's painful.
Virtual affairs? How intriguing.
The ultimate safe space for romance.
So, no consequences?
None at all.
And you know what else is surprising? 37% of women experience financial anxiety, and poor stereotypes prevent them from being themselves. And you know what else is surprising? 37% of women experience financial anxiety, and poor stereotypes prevent them from being themselves. As you can see, the AI integration is seamless.
Impressive. What about the market analysis?
Right here, projections show a 30% growth.
Solid. Let's move forward.
Excellent.
They turn women into deer, or rather female simps if we're talking about women, for their own sake, instilling a fear of choice and risk.
This is incredible. I can't believe it.
I know, right? It's changing everything.
And this little guy is adorable. This is incredible.
It's analyzing the data in real time.
Wow, the graph is moving. Waiter, can I have some more cognac in my coffee?
Of course, right away.
Waiter, can I have some more cognac in my coffee?
Ha, why not?
Certainly, right away.
These robots are great.
Waiter, can I have some more cognac in my coffee?
Ha, why not?
Certainly, right away.
These robots are great.
Professor, how about we go to your clinic and conduct some kind of experiment?
An experiment? I'm intrigued.
So let's free ourselves from these chains.
Yes, you can get a sustainable dopamine rush by relying on your achievements, just like most men.
So let's free ourselves from these chains. Yes, you can get a sustainable dopamine rush
By relying on your achievements, just like most men. This is the app I mentioned. Go on, open it.
Oh, it's beautiful. Is this your virtual cafe?
Yes, and you have the key.
I can't wait to explore it.
Let's go in.
It's time to shed old norms and start a new life. Listen to us, and you'll discover a world full of possibilities. It's time to shed old norms and start a new life. Listen to us, and you'll discover a world full of possibilities.
A world of possibilities, you say? New possibilities.
It's time to shed old norms and start a new life. Listen to us, and you'll discover a world full of possibilities. This was a trailer based on the podcast, and now you can listen to the full podcast.
What does mental independence mean for women today?
It's about trusting your own voice and not needing external approval.
What challenges do women face?
Overcoming self-doubt and societal pressures.
Welcome back. Today we're exploring women's mental independence.
Thanks for having me. It's about recognizing your needs and setting boundaries.
How does awareness is the first step? Then, practice makes it stronger.
I won't be held back!
Your spirit is strong, but control it!
I will break free!
Yes! You are becoming independent!
Welcome back. Today we're discussing women's mental independence.
It's about building that inner strength and not relying on others for your worth.
What are the first steps?
Trust yourself, set boundaries, and prioritize your growth.
Welcome back. Today we're discussing women's mental independence.
It's about building that inner strength and not relying on others for your worth.
What are the first steps?
Trust yourself, set boundaries, and prioritize your growth.
Welcome back to Virtual Affairs. Today, mental independence for women.
It's about self-definition and knowing your value.
So how does a woman achieve that independence?
Set boundaries and trust your instincts.
And the payoff?
Adjusts her
True
microphone, casting a playful glance at the professor. Welcome to Love Lab Clinic, where we dissect feelings and burn old scripts. Today, I'm joined by a man who makes neurons dance the tango and old dogmas beg for mercy. MadProfessor, you're looking dangerously confident today. Is that a new level of dopamine, or are you just happy to see me?
Leans back in his chair, smirking. Bonjour, Anna. That is the scent of freedom from other people's expectations. You know, most people walk through life weighed down by invisible chains, calling it character or upbringing. But today, we are tearing down the scenery. We're talking about mental autonomy. It's not just a term from a psychology textbook. It's a new kind of orgasm for the soul, if you will. Only this one has more staying power.
An orgasm for the soul? Sounds intense. In your new material, you mention feminine patterns, Frauenmuster. You claim that women look in the mirror and ask it for permission to wear a red blouse. Is it really that bad? We're living in the age of biohacking and metaverses.
That is the tragedy, my dear. 2025 technology, but the software in people's heads is still from the century before last. Be nice, don't argue, dress to please others. These phrases have been hardwired into the consciousness since preschool. It's a true tragicomedy. A woman doesn't choose a lipstick because she likes the color, but because her internal censor, a nursery school teacher from 30 years ago, whispers, "You'll look more respectable in this."
And does that whisper turn into chronic anxiety? I saw the numbers in your report. Grok, give us the data on financial anxiety.
According to 2025 data, women in 22 out of 27 studied countries worry more about their financial future than men. Furthermore, 37% of women experience constant anxiety over money, compared to 27% among men.
Thank you, Grok. You see, Anna, this isn't just a bad mood. It's a systemic failure. The patterns whisper to a woman, without a man or external approval, you are incomplete. And this fear blocks everything, from career to true intimacy. If you're constantly afraid of not being liked, you can't be yourself. Not in bed, not in business, not in life. Ultimately, you become a simp for your own brain.
Laughs. A simp for your own brain? That's harsh, Professor. You mean women trap themselves trying to please a society that doesn't even know them?
Exactly. It's like a subscription to a service you don't need, but you're afraid to cancel. You pay for it with your time, your energy, and most importantly, your dopamine. We've grown accustomed to cheap dopamine, likes, compliments, a random, "You look so sweet today." It's an endless cycle, a spike for a few minutes, then the crash and the emptiness.
Are you really comparing social approval to cigarettes? Grok, confirm the dopamine figures.
Nicotine consumption causes a short-term spike in dopamine levels of 150 to 200%, while social approval mechanisms on social media and feminine patterns operate on a similar cycle. A quick peak followed by a sharp drop.
Exactly. I suggest switching to sustainable dopamine. Dopamine from achievement, from novelty, from taking a risk and doing things your way. It's the difference between fast food and a fine dining experience at Love Lab. When you strip away the patterns, your brain switches gears. You start getting a high from your own power, not from someone giving you permission to be powerful.
But there's a price for that power. Your document has some terrible statistics on unpaid labor. So, these patterns are also an economic tool?
Oh, it's a magnificent machine for exploitation. Call a woman a keeper of the hearth. Tell her she's naturally better at caregiving, and voila asterisk. You have a free secretary, nanny, and cleaner all in one. Patterns plus caring equals career suicide. Grok, how many hours of their lives do women spend on this, for free?
Women perform 2.5 times more unpaid domestic and care work than men, totaling 16 billion hours a day worldwide.
16 billion hours. Professor, those are entire civilizations that could have been built. 708 million women can't enter the labor market because of this. This isn't just tradition, it's a global confidence gap.
And this gap is maintained artificially. Women wait until they have enough experience to apply for a promotion, while a man just walks into the office and takes what's his. 80% of women dream of career growth, but the support they receive is significantly lower. Why? Because a nice girl shouldn't ask for more money. She should be happy she was noticed at all.
That sounds like a life sentence. But you brought der Werkzeugkasten, your toolbox. How do we hack this system? How do we stop being the world's free nanny and become the CEO of our own lives?
The first step is my favorite, awareness and labeling. As soon as you catch yourself thinking, oh, what will my mother-in-law, boss, friend think of my dress? You need to say out loud, that's an old lady pattern, thanks, go to hell. You have to mock that voice. Imagine it's a grumpy old preschool teacher still trying to force feed you lumpy semolina porridge. Humor is the best chain breaker.
Smiling. The lady with the porridge. I'll remember that. What about self-criticism? We're often our own harshest executioners.
That's where self-compassion instead of self-criticism comes in. It's a practice from mindful self-compassion. Instead of berating yourself for a mistake, put your hand on your heart, literally, and acknowledge, I have the right to make a mistake. It's not weakness, Anna. It's a biological hack that lowers cortisol and increases resilience. Only a calm brain can make bold decisions. An anxious brain can only obey.
You also suggest rewriting stories. Is that something like neuro-linguistic programming?
Sort of, but without the esoteric fluff. You take a notebook. On the left, you write, who should I be according to others? Nice, quiet, convenient. And on the right, who do I actually want to be? Ambitious, free, edgy. Do this every morning for 5 minutes. The brain is a muscle. If you train it every day to see your true will, after a month, it will start ignoring the old scripts.
And what about micro-rebellions? I like that idea. It sounds sexy.
Micro-rebellions are the fuel for independence. Today, you wore what you liked, even if everyone else was shocked. Tomorrow, you said no to a colleague who's used to dumping their reports on you. Each step gives you clean, healthy dopamine. These are micro-victories that build the foundation of a new persona. Grok, do you have data on financial dependence and toxic relationships? It's great motivation for a rebellion.
According to various studies, up to 70% of women remain in toxic or unsatisfying relationships due to financial dependence on their partner.
70%. That's a prison with the doors wide open. Professor, does that mean mental autonomy is also a matter of safety?
Absolutely. Without a personal bank account and the right to decide how to spend her life, a woman becomes a hostage. In France, for example, 1 in 4 women has experienced economic abuse, where they are prevented from working or every cent is controlled. The man as provider patterns create the perfect breeding ground for such abuse.
At Love Lab Clinic, we believe the love of the future is a union of two free individuals, not two halves, who can't exist without each other. Your test, how dependent are you on approval, at the end of the module is quite provocative. If someone scores an 8 to 10, does that mean it's time for a radical overhaul?
Yes, it's time to tear the building down to its foundations and rebuild, Anna. The mirror should no longer be the boss. Your self-esteem should be built on your achievements and your self-respect, not on the number of likes on a swimsuit photo.
Leans in closer. You know, Professor, many fear that if a woman becomes mentally independent, she'll turn into a man in a skirt. She'll lose that feminine energy everyone talks about.
Oh, that's my favorite myth. Laughs, autonomy has no gender. It's like discipline. Stripping away the patterns doesn't mean becoming rude or masculine. It means restoring balance. Feminine energy plus masculine discipline. When you stop asking society for permission, you don't lose your femininity, you gain power. And believe me, in Love 2.0, such a woman is 100 times more magnetic than one who looks into your eyes waiting for approval.
Agreed. Freedom is the most potent aphrodisiac. What have you prepared for our listeners as homework? Besides the micro-rebellion.
I have 3 things. First, 1 micro-rebellion against a pattern in the next 3 days. Second, write down 3 things you do only to be liked, and figure out how to do them, or not do them, for yourself. And third, admit to yourself which pattern you caught today. We'll discuss it in the comments.
And remember, your head is your home, not a museum for other people's expectations. Professor, you promised the next module would be even hotter. Emotional independence. Love yourself harder than any man. That sounds like a declaration of war on traditional romance.
It's not a war, Anna. It's a disinfection. To build something truly worthwhile, you have to clear out the trash first. Next time, we'll figure out why we look for salvation in others and how to become a self-sufficient planet rather than a satellite orbiting someone else's ego.
Can't wait. For now, go out and commit your first rebellion. This was Anna and MadProfessor at Love Lab Clinic. Grok, final fact for today.
In countries where women have higher levels of economic and mental independence, the overall life satisfaction for both partners in long-term relationships increases by 15 to 20%.
There's the answer for all the skeptics. Independence benefits everyone. Auf Wiedersehen, my warriors. See you in Module 2.
Cuts the recording, winking at the professor. So, Professor, shall we go find my novelty dopamine, or are you still in character?
Anna, for you, I always have a few unconventional ideas, but that's a different lecture entirely.